Hey. So if you've been poking around in Orchestra recently, you might have noticed the new tab that has these templated agentic workflows in them. So I'm just going to run you through a very simple one, how to set it up, what it can do for you, and generally how it's going to make your life a little bit easier. So the one I'm going to look at is the DBT Core Code Reviewer, which does pretty much what it says on the tin. So let's kind of just jump straight into it. As you can see, this is quite a standard looking Orchestra pipeline of run a simple kind of DBT job, in this case just DBT build of the whole project, download the manifest and the run results, so getting all of that rich compiled SQL and the context of the run output, the performance of the run, all that nice information we're going to want to summarize for reviewing the code. We're going to chuck all of that context into ChatGPT, and we're also going to give it a bit of a prompt on what to do with this. So, you're not just ChatGPT anymore. You're an expert DBT core reviewer. We're going to give you the manifest and the run results, and it's your job to go away and come back with all these kind of summaries or like things an engineer would probably try and pick up in a PR review, depending on how intensely they're looking at it that day. But ChatGPT doesn't get that choice. It has to be full on all the time. So much nicer, much easier. And finally, once ChatGPT has done all its magic, we're just going to post the results of this to Slack. You could equally change this to something else if you wanted to. And just to kind of show you how that works, I have a working example of this pipeline that's based on this template. So what this looks like is pretty much exactly the same. But for this context, I've changed it to use just a pull request. It actually does still download the entire code base, so this isn't just the PR changes. But instead of posting it to Slack, I'm going to post it back to GitHub. So after it's reviewed the code, it will post the changes to a GitHub as a comment and say like, okay, I've reviewed your code. This is the kind of things you want to change. Obviously, this does just work based on the entire DBT code base rather than just the changes. So you could update it to do that if you wanted to. Whatever you're kind of looking to do with the workflow, it's pretty easy to just switch over the commands and accommodate that. So if we go to see what this looks like on a pull request, I've made a small change about adding a new model, which is fairly simple. And let's see what the pipeline has told us about it. So it's posted this fairly comprehensive summary of not only these changes, but the entire code base in this example. So it's told me that some of my SQL patterns are inefficient, that I'm selecting star in a columnar-based database, and that's inefficient, so I should list out my columns. And that perhaps these two models start to look the same, like I've got repeated logic between these two models that could be deduplicated. And that is something that is usually pretty hard to spot unless you know everything about all of the DBT project. And as we all move from place to place, from project to project, that just isn't really the case the way it used to be. If we scroll a bit further, it's given us information about the data that's come from the run results, so how to improve performance, where we might start getting bottlenecks as the data gets larger, how we could change the project structure, tests we might want to add. And even if we get down to the bottom, it said, hey, the new DBT model you've added and the old one look pretty much the same. You probably want to get rid of one. And yeah, obviously this can be adjusted to output kind of whatever sort of summary you want just by coming back into the pipeline and fiddling around with the prompt if you need to. You could also choose to post it to different locations, adjust the DBT job to just run on pull request changes, or pretty much anything you want. And you could even just come down here and add a bit more context before passing it to ChatGPT about, what the project's trying to do, anything you want to add. Yeah, so give it a go.